Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a comedy horror film, Brain Freeze. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins in a golf playground where the biotic company missed the area with the chemical fertilizer that maintains the grass green. It is resistant to snow, so that players can play all year round. Then the scene shows the community security guard named Dan roaming in the community. A boy named Andre rides his bicycle while using his phone. He's almost hit by Dan. Dan scolds him, but Andre ignores his bullshit and leaves. The next scene shows their isolated location at Peacock Island, where only the bridge connects them to the city. Andre arrives home and is greeted by the babysitter, who plays with his 2-year-old sister. She tells him that their mother is not yet home, but he does not seem to care. Meanwhile, Dan calls his daughter, Pat, to eat together, but Pat declines as she's busy with her work. That night, while Andre is playing on his phone, the babysitter comes in and tells him to take care of his sister since their mom will get home late and she needs to go home. Andre is upset, then the babysitter leaves. On the other side, Dan is busy making some survival preparations, since he loves listening to the radio announcer who talks about social and environmental conditions. It inspired him to prepare for some unexpected calamities. The following day, Andrew's mom makes a bottle of juice. She's already late for work, and the babysitter is not yet around, so she asks Andre to take care of his sister instead. Then the scene shows the rich man named Tycoon happily looking at the green grass on the golf course, which is sprayed with fertilizer. Later on, Dan drives his daughter to her work. After that, he passes by the golf course. He stops and seems worried and suspicious by the look of the grass despite the snow. Moments later, Tycoon welcomes his guests, the husband and the wife. They talk about the golf course and are excited about its benefit for them before they finally go inside. Subsequently, the scene shows Andre upset and struggling to take care of his baby sister, since the babysitter is still not around. Meanwhile, Dean eats his snack in the car while waiting for Pat. He tries to ring her, but Pat is still working at the golf course, so she declines. Then the husband hits the golf ball. As it reaches the golf hole, it shows the cycle where the chemical fertilizer sprayed on the ground travels through the pipe, contaminating the water supply. Right then, a woman is getting water from the tap. She then hands it to the man and he drinks it. Later, the man goes to the market to get some fruit. As he steps forward, he feels strange for a second, but immediately comes back to normal. As the man arrives at his girlfriend's house, he looks at himself in the mirror. He freaks out, seeing his teeth completely green. He tries to clean them, but he suddenly turns into a zombie. Afterward, he runs into the bathroom. He aggressively attacks his girlfriend's neck, and without further ado, she turns into a zombie. Meanwhile, Tycoon and the couple arrive at his house. Suddenly, his employee comes running from the home, warning them. He's being chased by his colleagues, who are now zombies. The dog also comes out. It suddenly attacks its owner. After that, those infected people run toward them. So Tycoon and the husband quickly run inside, leaving the wife behind, who also turned into a zombie. Unfortunately, the dog bites the husband on his leg. While they are trying to secure the door, he turns into a zombie too and chases Tycoon. Meanwhile, Dan is called by a lady reporting her noisy neighbors. Dan checks the house when suddenly the zombies inside slam the door. The lady who made the report also turns into a zombie and she runs toward Dan. He is shocked. He quickly gets inside his car and tries to contact the police, but no one's responding. He then calls Pat, but she does not respond since she's trapped in a room and zombies are attacking her. Meanwhile, Andrew's mom comes home and works out to release her stress. Then she drinks her contaminated juice and picks up her baby on the floor. Then she suddenly stumbles, but manages to walk normally. Later, while Andre gets a cola in the fridge, he notices her infected mom standing strangely. Suddenly, her mom tries to attack him. Andre is terrified and confused as her mom chases him. Subsequently, Dean is driving his car while worriedly trying to contact Pat. When Andre runs out of their house, Dan arrives and accidentally hits his mom. Andre is worried, but Dan tells him not to go near his mom, which confuses him. Before Dan leaves, he tells Andre to hide and lock their door. Just then, a bunch of zombies are approaching, so Andre quickly drags his mom into their house. Meanwhile, the police are puzzled as many zombies are blocking their way, preventing them from crossing it. Going back to Andre, he successfully brings her mom into their house before the zombies reach them. He then locks the doors and dials the police, only to discover that the whole island is being advised to quarantine. Then he notices his mom trying to reach his sister, so he drags his mom into the bathroom and locks her inside. Meanwhile, Dean talks to Pat on the phone as he drives to her location to rescue her. Not long after that, Dean arrives, and as soon as he gets out of the car, zombies attack him, but he kills them one after another. Subsequently, the bridge connecting the island and the city is bombed to eliminate the zombies. After that, the light on the whole island goes out. The next day, Andre films the zombies outside using his phone. He watches the news, but unfortunately, his phone battery runs out. He is worried that her sister is hungry, so he gives her a milk bottle, but the baby does not want to drink it. He also thinks his mom must be hungry, so he goes to the bathroom without knowing that his sister followed him. Meanwhile, her mom notices her baby and tries to attack her, so Andre lures her mom to go out of the bathroom. Unexpectedly, the TV falls, which mashes his mom's head and kills her. He then dejectedly drags his mom's body back into the bathroom. Afterward, Andre checks the zombies outside using the ladder. Then he carries his baby sister and opens the door. The cat in their house gets frightened as the zombies enter the house, so the zombies go after the cat, and Andre and his sister sneak out. Unfortunately, a bunch of zombies are chasing them. Andre stops as zombies already surround them. Suddenly, Dan pulls them inside the mall and saves their life. Andre recognizes Dan as the one who ran over his mom, while Dan remembers him as the one who recklessly rides his bicycle. As they go inside, Andre asks him how to get out of the island. Unfortunately, Dan says there's no chance for now since the bridge is broken and they cannot cross the cold river. Then, Andre decides to look for his baby sister's milk instead. Meanwhile, the baby crawls, and Andre follows him. Surprisingly, the infected Pat shows up from the glass room. Andre gets shocked, and Pat notices him, so she tries to calm down. Dan sadly assures him that Pat will soon recover. That is why he's keeping her. The next scene shows Michael talking with the biotech company that made the fertilizer. He is urging them to rescue him, but they are telling him that the experts are working on the damage and the cleanup operation. He is distraught that they are making him wait. Going back to the mall, Dan starts a campfire to keep them warm, and they listen to the radio. Andre becomes worried when they are not going to rescue anyone from the island. Dan says it is because they are afraid of getting infected. So Dan calls the radio announcer and tries to convince him to help. Dan tells the announcer that they are survivors and are not infected. However, although the announcer seems interested, he's unsettled and curious about what is happening. He's anxious about the virus. So Dean tells him that no one is trying to reach out to them, even the police. The announcer then answers that it is because they do not know what's going on and do not want their germs to harm the city. Dan is totally dismayed by it, so he hangs up immediately. After that, Dan eagerly tells Andre they must do something and get out. He is hopeless that they will get any help. Andre then asks him about his plan. Dan tells him that they can hide in the woods, but Andre insists they need to find the cause and a vaccine. So Dan tells him that the cause was the water, where the virus can easily and quickly spread. Andre agrees since he never drinks water and realizes that it is why he's not infected yet. Dan and the group get out of the building. Dan covers Pat's head so she cannot attack them. The zombies are around, but they successfully escape using the car. Meanwhile, two women from the biotech company arrive at Tycoon's house. The announcer gets a call from the babysitter. She points out that they must save the people on the island who are not infected. However, the announcer explains that they must not bring anyone from the island to the city, as it might harm many people in the whole population. Then he hangs up, which makes the babysitter irritated. Subsequently, the two women approach Tycoon, and he assumes that they are his allies, so he tells them that he has burned all the evidence, and they should get rid of the fertilizer too. Just before he asks about the cure, the women bring down the briefcase. Tycoon picks it up immediately and opens the case. As he holds the cure and explains how it works, the woman abruptly attacks him from behind. The other woman forces him to consume the fertilizer before she knocks him off. They drag his body into the hallway, and the cure that he holds rolls on the ground. Meanwhile, Dan and Andre arrive at the water facility building. They take Pat inside as they cannot leave her with the baby in the car. Inside the building, Pat senses something urging her to run and jumps into the dirty water. Dan follows her and gets Pat out of the water. Surprisingly, an infected man comes out too. He does not attack Dan as he smells Pat. The zombie notices Andre and targets him instead. Andre quickly runs for his life. Then as Dan pulls Pat out of the water, her arm cuts off. Dan is highly frustrated. Meanwhile, Andre is continuously being chased by zombies. Luckily, he gets in the car just before they reach him. Not long after that, Dan comes out of the building holding Pat and her broken arm. The zombies run toward Dan, but they stop as they smell them. Dan is devastated by Pat's situation. Suddenly, Andre sees the grass growing in Pat's broken arm. Dan recognizes the link between the grass and the winter. He realizes that the person behind the situation is the golfers, so they immediately head to the golf course. Meanwhile, the two women arrive at the golf course and drop the cure on the ground. Just then, Dan and Andre arrive. Dan drags Pat, while Andre uses Pat's phone to film the area. Since the house seems empty, Dan opens the door from the back, and they enter the house. Dan locks Pat in a room while Andre surrounds his baby sister with furniture so she cannot go anywhere. He then follows Dan, and they explore the area to find the cure. Suddenly, Andre notices a dog. Surprisingly, the dog is still alive and breathing, but has been turned into grass. Then the annoying baby cries. So Dan orders Andre to go and take care of her. Andre finds his baby sister is gone, not knowing she's already crawling toward the hall. Meanwhile, Dan roams around the place and arrives at the basement. Shockingly, she finds time bombs set up by the two women to destroy the entire evidence. Dan suddenly feels strange and struggles to move, as he perhaps drank some water from saving Pat. He gets weaker and gets contaminated by the fertilizer, but successfully stops the timer. Immediately, the women get notified and head toward Tycoon's house to check. As they get in, they find the baby sitting on the ground. One of the women offers the baby the fertilizer and lets her eat it, but as they hear Andre calling his sister, they hide. Then Andre gladly finds and picks up the baby. As they walk in the hallway, the women corner them. He tries to run, but the woman behind chokes him, while the other one tries to feed him the fertilizer. But suddenly, the baby has turned into a zombie and bites her. Suddenly, Dan appears. It allows Andre to push the other woman toward Dan, and she gets bitten by him. Subsequently, Andre steps into the cure, which Tycoon has dropped. It breaks and releases some smoke inhaled by Dan and the baby. However, Dan tries to attack Andre, but because the zombie fat baby is with him, he stops. Meanwhile, the two infected women shoot each other with their guns, ending their shitty lives. Andre uses Pat's phone. He films himself and his sister ask for help. His video reaches the news. The babysitter watches it and feels pity. Meanwhile, the radio announcer once again talks about solving the problem through amputation. He advises the public officials to cut off what is rotten to save the people. So the next scene shows the army reaching the island through their aircraft. Andre is carrying his baby sister. He feels excited, hoping to get rescued. But as he approaches them, he sees that they are using a flamethrower to kill zombies. A normal person runs toward them and asks for help, but they shoot him dead. Just then, Andre realizes they are not going to help. As the baby cries, he dashes to hide. Meanwhile, Dan's appearance returns to normal due to the cure that Andre stepped in earlier. The army arrives at their location and he persuades them that Pat will be okay. But they do not listen. They burn the room and leave. Andre walks near the river, carrying his baby sister, who has also returned to normal. Moments later, the babysitter and the company arrive through the boat and rescue them. Simultaneously, the radio announcer watches the news, where the public official talks about how they have eliminated the virus by destroying the entire island. The movie ends by showing Andre throwing Pat's arm into the water. A fish gets a bite, which later leads to a startling end, where that fish turns into a zombie. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.